Hi there, this is Srikant. So in this session, we are going to learn about the increment and decrement operators in C++. So the name itself, the C++ suggests that it's an incremented version of a C programming language. So that's the reason they have used that plus plus suffix to C alphabet. Okay, so let me launch the IDE. So already I have created the project under the name increment and decrement here, and also I have a plain C++ source.cpp file here. So let me add all the basic stuff like header files like I was stream and hash include conio.h. Okay, so let's add the namespace here. So using namespace std, which is very essential. Let me keep the void main function since we are not returning anything, so you can also use void as a convention, and also let's keep the contemporary getch function here. Okay, so all the basic stuff has been added here. So to demonstrate the use of increment and decrement operators, let's take two variables here. So let's say a and b. Okay, let's take in two different lines here. Let's say a is equal to 10 and b is equal to 20, and let's say the result here. Okay, it's to store the result on performing the increment and decrement operations on these variables. So the increment and decrement operators are going to be like this in C++, C or any programming language. So they are plus plus and minus minus. So the plus plus is denoted as increment operator. Yeah, I'm writing it in a comment here. The plus plus is denoted as increment, and minus minus is set to be the decrement here. Okay. Decrement. Okay. So we can use both of these in two different scenarios. Each one in two different scenarios. So total it makes 4 different cases when you are working out with increment and decrement operators here. Okay. So the first case is the post increment. We can use this increment operator in a post increment way. So it goes something like this. If you say you can build an expression using the increment operator like this, so result is equal to a plus plus. Okay. So now, so if you output the result using the cout statement, so let's say result is equal to. Also, let's use the slash and slash t contemporary slash and slash t, and let's say result is equal to result. Excuse me. And also let's say let's print the a value here. So a is equal to a. Okay. So now if you run this tiny little program by pressing F5, and if you observe what happens here, it's taking the time to run here. Okay, so let's increase the font so that it's viable to see. Okay, so I'm also just changing the color so it looks more apprehended. Okay, so if you observe here, you got the result as 10 and the value of a is 11. Okay, so this is not what you might have expected here. Okay, so you are intended to increment the value of a, which is 10, and store that in the result variable here. Okay, so with that expression, you might think that the result value will be the incremented value of a. So but that is not the case here. Okay, why? Because so internally this expression is abbreviated like this here. Okay, the compiler thinks of this expression as something like this: a is equal to a plus 1. Okay, so what happens is according to the associativity to evaluate this expression. So when it's coming from right to left, that is the associativity of is equal to operator. It first assigns the value whatever there stored in the a value, which is 10, to the result variable, and then it gets incremented, and then it stores the incremented value in the a. So for that reason, you are getting the result as 10 and the value of a as the incremented value 11. Okay, So if you go to the post increment, let's have a comment here also to separate this, and let's say post increment here. So if you keep the increment operator as after the preceding the or variable, so that becomes the post increment operation. So also you can do a pre-increment operation. So let's write a comment here. So pre-increment goes like this, something like this. So you can say result is equal to plus plus a. Okay, so result is equal to plus plus a. So now again, if you take the help of this cout statements to see what happens here. Okay, so again, if you run your program, so you get the output in a different format here. Okay, so here what happens is the previously the value of result is a is 11. Okay, so from this the previous expression. So also let's make it clear with some clear cout statements here. Okay, so let's do something like this, so that the output is some gets some clarity. So post increment. Okay, I'm just putting the values there. Okay, so just stars and just some representation. And also let's have previous to this also one sort of heading here, shows the pre-increment. Okay, post increment, pre-increment. Let's close the stars. Okay, so now if you go close your output window and if you run this once again, okay, so you get some differentiation between what we are intending to do here. Okay, so here previously the value of a is 11. Okay, so after it gets incremented, now if you go to this expression here, pre-increment expression, the value of a is 11, which gets incremented immediately and then gets assigned to the result variable here. Okay, so that's the reason you are getting the both these values as follow here. Okay, so both of them are 12. So first the value of a, which is 11, gets incremented and then it stores in the result variable here. Okay, so in the same way you can build the expression using the decrement operator also. So let's see the post decrement version. Let's go to full screen. So post decrement. Okay, so the let's again build an expression. Let's say so this time let's take b here, since we have taken b also as a variable, b minus minus. So again, as you have learned in the post increment, the post decrement also works like this. The result is equal to b is equal to b minus 1. So internally the compiler expands this operation something like this. So now if you so whatever the value of b, which is 20, gets assigned to the result and then it gets decremented here. Okay, so if you take the help of this whole cout statements once again, I'm just copying them and pasting here. Okay, so let's say pre decrement. Let's put a title here, that's pre decrement for better understanding purpose. Okay, and also let's say now b is equal to b here. Okay, so now if you run your application, a small tiny little program, I think it's already running somewhere there. Let's get rid of that. Let's run this once again. So now if you observe, as we have learned, the value when we come to pre-decrement here, the value of b, which is 20. So first as the internal compiler internally expands the expression something like this. Okay, so now it assigns the value of b to result and then it gets decremented. So that's the reason we get the result as 20 and then the decremented value of b, which is 19, gets stored in the b, which is 19. Okay, so in the same way you can have the pre-decrement also. Let's put a comment here. So pre-decrement. Okay, so let's take the whole thing once again, which is almost the same. So let's put this decrement operator previously, and let's get rid of this comment since it does not expand in that way. Let's also sorry, we have misspelled here. This is post decrement here, a minute error. Okay, so pre-decrement and we have result and okay. So here what happens is the value of previously, what is the value of b is 19. Okay, so first that value gets decremented, and then it stores in the result, and also the result of whatever the value in b, it's 18. It's remains in the same here. Okay, so if you run it, you get the idea. So pre-decrement, the value of b before decrementing is 19. First it gets decremented to 18, and then it gets assigned to the result variable, and then the value of b, which is 18, gets printed here. Okay, so in this way, the decrement and increment operators works in C++, which is very quite common in all the programming languages. So it takes total 4 forms, 2 for each. One is post, pre, post increment, pre increment, post decrement, and pre decrement. Okay, so see you in the next lesson. Goodbye.